Wake up, it's Saturday! What? Wake up, it's Monday!
What?
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. Monday, March 2nd, I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, Tass? We got the bearded one, Trae Kirby.
Hey-yo.
Hey-yo. The international man of mystery, taking it to the max, back from his deathbed. Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily, and last but not least, making the magic happen, it's JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. Thanks for joining us here on a Monday. Follow us on social media, Twitter and Instagram, at No Dunks Inc. You know, we're on Facebook, at facebook.com/NoDunksInc.
Well, I guess it's official. We're now on Facebook.
Email us your NBA questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. We'll be stepping on the beach a little later this week, as we always do. And in case you missed it, we released a new episode of Squad over the weekend, building our own franchises by drafting a city and a non-NBA brand / identity and concession items and so much more. I know people that have already had a chance to download and listen to that seem to have had a blast with that, debating who picked the best team and then chiming in with their selections. So that one's up in podcast form as well on YouTube. And you should look at our YouTube page at No Dunks Inc. What were you going to say?
Absolutely, and shout out to the Photoshop boys out there, Stefan Vasilev, sending in recreations, basically, of what our teams would actually look like, getting these things ready to submit to the league for official expansion paperwork.
Yeah, that's right.
Very exciting.
And speaking of that YouTube page, this morning, here on Monday, we released a special video from All-Star Weekend. We called it the rematch, Lee Ellis versus Kendall Gill, in a three-point contest rematch, 4 years in the making.
It was, yeah. What a great time it was. There's a little drama built into it as well, so you want to stick around to the end?
Yeah, we won't spoil it here. Go check out the video, and then maybe we'll talk about it a little later this week. Poor Kendall Gill. All right, but it's a Monday staple on No Dunks. We look back at the NBA weekend. We hit you with our winners and losers. We ask you to do the same in the comments on the YouTube page or on Twitter at No Dunks Inc., hashtag No Dunks. Winners of the weekend, we'll start there. Trae, who do you have?
Winners of the weekend, the number 1 and number 2 picks in the 2019 draft, Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. Let's go in number and chronological order. We'll start with Zion. Got a win on Friday against the Cavs, 24 points, 3 rebounds, became the first teenager to ever go for 20-plus points in a game in 10 straight games. And that wasn't even the coolest thing he did all weekend. Lost to the Lakers on Sunday. Tough for him. But 35 points, 7 rebounds, a career high, and most important, had the Paul George moment with LeBron there at the end of the first half. I think he drove by Kuzma for the big dunk, had a big dunk in the lane, then LeBron comes back right away and hits the pull-up 3 from 38 feet. It was almost the exact same as when Paul George and LeBron had their little meeting of the minds during the playoffs. Paul George goes around LeBron, dunks, gets the foul. LeBron comes back, pulls up on Paul George. High five right at half court. I would like to see the high five, but I guess LeBron and Zion weren't actually guarding each other for these plays, but that was really cool to see. Afterwards, LeBron said you got to actually be on the floor to actually feel the strength and the speed that Zion plays at. It's a hell of a rookie class, I'll tell you that. These kids are special, which is higher praise than he had the first time he played against Zion. He was like, I've literally never met this guy.
I've never met him. Yeah. I've actually never met him. I've never met him. He said it like 5 times.
Yeah, but now that they've met, he's happy to say, wow, this guy is incredible, because Zion is.
Yeah. But you're right. Lakers got the win with no Anthony Davis. That's the other part. I think Anthony Davis was avoiding playing Zion Williamson.
Ducking him.
It's like, that guy's a bully. I don't want to play him again. I'll sit this one out. But yeah, Lakers got the win. Okay, Zion. But then it paired with
my number
Ja
2
Morant.
man, number 2.
Yeah.
Ja Morant got a loss to the Kings on Friday. Tough. 20 points, 11 assists, 3 rebounds, but then broke the losing streak, 5-game losing streak for the for the Grizzlies, broken on Saturday against the Lakers. 27 points, 14 assists, 6 boards.
Huge game
for Ja, who then called out a Twitter hater. After the game, he said, the losing streak, I felt like I could have been better in a lot of places, and I'm thankful for this guy that tweeted that said I don't have that fire in my eye no more. That game right there was for him. That's what I do. I prove people wrong each and every night. So if I'm a Grizzlies fan right now, I'm just tweeting the meanest stuff possible at Ja Morant. Obviously, he's going to read it. Obviously, haters inspire him. He said his dad was his first hater, and now the guy is dominating in the NBA. This seems to be the way to go. I mean, the Grizzlies lost 5 straight, made it for a perfect race for the 8 seed. Now we've got 3 teams, 2.5 games out. This is exciting to watch. So get your mean tweets in, Grizzlies fans.
He even then atted the guy, Daniel Greer, and said, appreciate you. So, man, this guy is stockpiling any sort of slight, anything anyone says about it.
Gotta find that motivation wherever you can.
Hey, listen, a huge, important win over the Lakers, especially when they're in this playoff race against the Pelicans. That was huge. But, I love Ja Morant. I love how he does use that motivation to go out there and seemingly prove doubters wrong. He's doing it already in his first season. He mentioned he did it already earlier this season, and he's fun to watch, and he's backing it up. So good on him.
I thought it was interesting going back to the LeBron Zion non-meeting meeting. LeBron always says, "No, we've never met," even though they've walked by each other many times. There's an interesting article on The Athletic by Joe Varden that talked about LeBron seeking out MJ and Kobe earlier in his career, looking for that mentorship, and both MJ and Kobe gave him the sort of the cold shoulder, the tough love, never really extending any sort of conversation to him. And LeBron doing the same to Zion. I guess the difference is, as Joe Varden wrote, Zion's not really seeking it out like LeBron was from the ageless ones in MJ and Kobe. But Zion's just doing his own thing, apparently.
All right, the number 1 and 2 picks. Getting a winner of the weekend in Trae's eyes. Who do you have, Lee?
I'm going back to a particular game, and it was Saturday night's Rockets-Celtics game in Boston. An incredible game. Went to overtime under pretty wild circumstances. The Celtics were down by 3. Jason Tatum gets deliberately fouled, so he goes to the free throw line. Okay, knock in the first one, and then maybe try to get the miss deliberate and get the 2-pointer to extend the game. But instead, he clunked the first one.
Right.
So it kind of basically almost took them out of contention, really.
Right.
Something crazy had to happen, and it did, because Tatum just threw the second one off the rim. It sort of made its way out to Jaylen Brown, who hit the deep bomb to send the game into overtime. Marcus Smart was kind of involved there.
Oh, yeah, he was.
As always. He's just an incredible player. But then the Rockets able to sort of overcome that little adversity by the fact that they had to play the extra 5 minutes and won the game. Overtime wasn't actually that great. It was a little bit choppy, but Russell Westbrook was incredible in this game. Once again, had an amazing putback dunk that we used to see a little bit more of from young Russ. We don't see too much of it these days. But the Rockets got a pretty big win, pretty important win for them. And yeah, well, great game. Just one of those fun Saturday night games. It's not quite the same as the Steph Curry one that the anniversary was last week when he hit that deep bomb against the Thunder a few years ago. But just a game where the Celtics led this one big, and then this crazy Rockets lineup found their way back, and Robert Covington at both ends of the floor. He's been an incredible pickup for them. He plays kind of like power forward center, gets a lot of blocks, does really well on the defensive end, and then he's hitting these threes for them, because James Harden didn't have a great game in this one, but another case of when the Rockets threes are falling, when everyone sort of is really making that defense impossible to get settled on when you're the Boston Celtics. It's that crazy experiment that seems to be working.
Yeah, this was an awesome game.
Yeah,
it was one of my favorite games of the year to watch for sure.
And again, I talk about Russell Westbrook there. Do you think Russell Westbrook of him as a sweaty guy or a non-sweaty guy?
Wow, I usually only think of him in terms of dog or cat.
Yeah.
I'm going sweaty.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there's something going on. Russell Westbrook has stopped sweating. You look at him immediately after the game, and there's barely any perspiration on him. And even throughout the game. And I've noticed this a couple of times recently watching the Rockets, because I always see him, not quite Kevin Garnett-like, but at the free throw line, it's usually dripping off his face. He stopped sweating somehow.
Maybe he's stopped drinking water.
I don't know what it
healthy.
is.
You want to sweat, do you not?
I would think so, yeah. But maybe that's what it is. He's figured out if I stop sweating, then I keep my energy up and I play better. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, speaking of Westbrook, I thought you had one of the hottest takes I've seen from the regular season. I saw the video going out and you were sharing the idea that Russell Westbrook should be in consideration for most improved player. I was blown away by this take, Lee. Now that's a hot take.
Now, you're someone who has a pretty strong opinion on this award.
Yeah, I don't like a second-year player
right.
having any right at winning this award.
You like to have a player who has clearly improved his game more so than necessarily
I just think it's silly if we're like, oh, wow, that rookie improved. Yeah, that's what happens with 99% of them. And I understand there's the jump and the difference in some players taking it to the next level. But the second year I hate. Third year I'm a little more like, okay, I get it.
But it's about the same, isn't it? It's either second or third year for a lot of guys.
How about 12th year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And for a guy who's a former MVP and who's...
Well, that's the crazy part of this. Like, how can you convince me that Westbrook has improved?
I just think by watching him play and the role he's played, the way he's playing, to me, this is much more effective basketball than any of those years where he averaged a triple-double, because watching him was just like he's going for the triple-double. Now, the impact he's having on the Rockets, he is putting them, honestly, within contention, in my opinion. And I've been someone who said the Rockets are not a contender all season. But the way he's been playing these last 6 weeks, I'm starting to change my opinion, because it's working, and so much of it has got to do with Russell Westbrook taking advantage of his athleticism and matchups, not getting into these stupid shooting contests with himself. Basically, he still takes the odd, quick shot, but that's fine. The way he's been performing, he's sort of allowed to do that now, because there's more substance than just style to the way he's playing. So obviously he's not going to win. I have no question that he's not going to win this award, because this is not what it's designed for. But I just feel, if you're looking at the overall impact he's having on his team and the way he's playing, I think this is a better season than he's had from his last 3 seasons.
At the very least, he made it possible for the Rockets to play this way. And, with Mike D'Antoni being the coach, you kind of always look for the minor players that he's going to turn into a significant role player, or somebody who's going to get a surprisingly huge contract. You wouldn't have thought a guy who is a one-time MVP, a multiple All-Star, an All-NBA player would be able to find another avenue to have success in his career, but he's been incredible, as has Covington, as you mentioned. I think he has also made it possible for the Rockets to play this style. He's averaging 1.1 steals per game. That's not great, but 2.7 blocks per game would be second in the NBA if it was over the course of an entire season. So between him being a rangy defender who is able to protect the rim, and PJ Tucker being a stout defender who can handle the big guys, they don't have tall guys, but they got guys who play the big position the right way for the NBA right now. It's fun to watch.
The interesting thing for the Rockets is, since they've gone to this centerless basketball, they're beating teams by an average of almost 20 points at the three-point line every game. So does that change in the postseason? Are teams ready to guard the three-point line a little bit more in a series? I would think so. I would think that number at least shrinks by half or something like that. But that's why they're winning. Teams aren't ready to play this team.
I'd like to give a winner of the weekend, no surprise here, to the Milwaukee Bucks, and Giannis specifically. Another perfect weekend for Milwaukee. Friday, they dismantled the Thunder, 133-86. It's a good Thunder team that they just dominated. They hit 21 threes in that one, Milwaukee did. Held OKC to under 37% shooting. Then on Sunday, they followed up with a much uglier victory versus Charlotte, in Charlotte versus the Hornets. Now, the Bucks couldn't hit a shot to save their life in that one, but they got the win, 93-85. They held the Hornets to 35.3% shooting from the floor, so even worse than they did, or OKC did against them on the Friday. Both of those games without Chris Middleton, their all-star guy, who's great on both ends of the floor and had been on fire for the last month and a half. But Giannis in those 2 games averaged 36.5 points, 16.5 rebounds, 6 assists, and shot over 62% from the floor. And you want to talk about barely breaking a sweat. I mean, how many minutes did he even play? The combined minutes was something like, 65 or something. So he scored in basically every way imaginable over the weekend, pick and rolls and fast break dunks and the jumpers and at the line getting there. And it's wild. Though I will say this about the Bucks. I think we need to put a moratorium on the idea of we're not talking about the Bucks anymore, because everyone is talking about the Bucks, or at least every piece of NBA media I'm consuming, in terms of either listening to it, watching it, or reading it, are talking about the Bucks.
Yeah, this
but
is a leftover take.
But everybody just keeps saying we're not talking about the Bucks, but we are.
It's a leftover take. We weren't talking about the Bucks when they won 18 straight games.
Right.
They were not the biggest story in the league, but the Bucks are getting better. Their first 20 games, they lost 3 times. Their second 20 games, they lost 3 times. Their third 20 games, they lost twice. And one of them was to the Pacers right before the All-Star break. That's a hilarious loss to look at now and be like, oh, this is the one game maybe that you didn't give 100% effort? But yeah, people are talking about the Bucks. Giannis is locking up the MVP, and we got beefs. You gotta love to see a player versus player beef.
With James Harden and Giannis.
And I think you saw that on Friday night against the Thunder. I think Giannis absolutely went out there with that sort of chip on his shoulder, saying, I'm not that skilled. I mean, it's all sort of blown out of proportion to some degree.
And Giannis even has now sort of tried to, put sand on the fire there and try and put it out because he's like, I'm just working on my game and we're moving on, which is a bummer because it was sort of a nice little back and forth we had.
That was great.
Yeah.
But,
I think the problem is that James Harden looks at himself as a sweaty guy. He finishes the game, that guy's dripping with sweat, and then you see Giannis, he plays 25 minutes and has 41 points like it's no big deal, and he's not sweating.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that guy should be a little bit heftier. Add a couple lbs, start sweating out there.
These two teams do play, right?
Yeah, very
At the end
soon.
of March, in a couple weeks, you got the Rockets and the Bucks. So maybe it'll be reignited a little bit there in terms of their, disdain for each other. It seems legit real to me, too.
Yeah, and it goes back a few years.
Yeah, absolutely. To, Harden upset that Giannis, won the MVP and then Giannis with a couple jabs at him around the All-Star game and even after the game, and then Rachel Nichols asked Harden about all that and he doesn't hold back with the whole
But he didn't see it either.
Yeah, that's right.
They never see it. Never see it, but they have got a take on it.
Everybody loves this because, it's fine. A lot of these guys are best buddies. At times even on the floor it appears, like we just talked about with a LeBron and all the young guys. But it's every once in a while you like to have two elite superstar players that maybe don't care all that much for each other.
Sure.
I'm loving it. I think everybody is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all stemmed from Giannis during the All-Star draft saying, no, not drafting James Harden. I want someone who can pass. That was a real comment. And it only got brought up to him weeks later, to James Harden. It only got brought up to James Harden weeks later that really got things going. Yeah, James Harden never saw that. Never saw that. That was the first time he heard of it from Rachel Nichols on ESPN.
Right, but the counter to that is Giannis only made these little jabs at Harden because of all the talk of the year Giannis was winning MVP from the Rockets side of things, saying, it should be Harden, it should be Harden, it should be Harden.
He said he had the narrative over the summer.
Right.
And there was a video that someone dug up, Giannis and Harden going at it, and I think it was Giannis' second year. Harden bumped him to the floor. And Giannis got up and got in his face. That was a nice find, whoever found that. That was a long time ago.
Super young-looking Giannis.
People are going for the deep dives now. You also got the one where Giannis is posting up on maybe the left side of the court and he whips a right-handed pass underneath the hoop and it just blasts Harden in the face like a total by chance, but it works perfect for this beef.
That's great.
We meme teamed that one, right? With,
it was honored that week.
With the MVP trophy as the ball bouncing off Harden's face, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so okay. But the Bucks a winner of the weekend, and I think everybody's talking about them. They're a title contender. They're at the top of the list, and they look unstoppable. Even when Chris Middleton isn't even playing, they're picking up W's. And Giannis is just next level right now, and he's winning MVP. I love this little sort of push we got going here for LeBron. I get it. The guy's putting up 30-point triple-doubles in his 17th year. It is amazing. And his team, whenever he's on a team and he's healthy, they're title contenders. That's cool. Gentry talking about this after the Pelicans game. But there is no way that Giannis is not winning MVP this year.
He's going to win it.
Not a chance in hell, especially not even if they hit 70.
Especially because they're not going to drop off the last 20 games.
Probably not.
Because they don't.
Unanimous?
Well, that's the only question to me. I actually don't think it will be. I think someone will throw a LeBron
couple
vote.
at LeBron, yeah.
I do. But I don't really care all that much either.
No.
It does feel like LeBron is number 2, though, right now, rather than Harden.
Yeah, I agree with that. And a part of that is
Westbrook.
It is Westbrook. And Harden's not wrong. A year or two ago, narrative plays a part. I mean, it plays a massive, massive part with
Absolutely. And it is right now, honestly, too. We're saying it's March 2nd. The MVP is locked up.
Yeah. But you agree with that?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. He's just been that good on the best team and one of the best teams we've ever seen regular season.
Yeah, one of the best teams we've ever seen. That 40-point win on Friday, as you said, over the Thunder. Their third 40-plus point win this season, which is tied all time for the most in a season. A lot of teams have done it. And there's been another team this year that's done it, surprisingly. Who's the other team that's won 3 40-point games this season?
Plus
other
40.
than Bucks.
I know
won.
the Raptors have
Not the
done
Raptors.
it a couple times. No?
Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks is right.
Wow.
Nice.
Because they have the best offense in the league. So they mop some teams. Could be the best offense ever. That's kind of surprising.
It was for a while there.
It was, yeah. It could be. It's true. It's weird. Any worry that the rest of the Bucks are struggling right now? They got by the Thunder and the Hornets with the rest of their starters shooting 30% besides Giannis. Any worries? Any worries that this carries over 6 weeks from now?
I mean, a little, right? Like, Brook Lopez is shooting 28% from three, and he has been off all year, but his contributions on the defensive end have really filled in where he was going to be. But come playoff time, I mean, you're going to see the pack the paint. You're going to see, let's build a wall and make Brook Lopez beat us than rather have Giannis dunk all over your heads. But, I mean, Lopez wasn't great in the playoffs last year, I don't feel like. Marvin Williams just got there. He's only shooting 31% with the team. So just like the Rockets could get hot and win a playoff series and go all the way to the finals, the opposite could be true for the Bucks, right? I mean, is George Hill going to shoot 50% from three in the playoffs? Maybe, but also maybe not.
And then also the flip side of that too is how they play defense is, well, we're going to give you a bunch of
Sure.
threes. Is it that far-fetched to think one of these teams in a 7-game series, be it in the East or in the finals, like just catches fire for a couple of games and hits fairly open looks that you can get, again, that's what the defense gives you, and knock them down, hit 18, 19 or something in a game. It's possible. I mean, I always go back to the Raptors versus Cavs series, where the Raptors were feeling good in that series against a LeBron team, and it was that year where the Cavs, like, they just couldn't miss a goddamn three. Like, even Casey was like, I don't know what we can do. Like, we're doing the right thing in playing a LeBron team, but they just can't miss threes right now. I mean, it felt like J.R. Smith never missed one in that series, and that happens. So I would still, as of today, be taking the Bucks' chances to go to the finals. Just the way Giannis is playing alone. I mean, even he's just carrying them to wins at times when the rest of the team isn't even playing that well because they have a great defense. Who do you have, Tass, as a winner of the weekend?
Well, free agent Dion Waiters has to be a winner of the weekend. The Lakers are the best team in the Western Conference by a significant margin. Dion Waiters was suspended 3 times this season, earlier this year with the Miami Heat, and the Lakers still want him. He is working out on Monday for the Los Angeles Lakers, according to ESPN. Again, suspended 3 times. Edibles. He said, I'm sick. Put out a photo of him hanging out on a boat. He was traded, and then he was released by the Memphis Grizzlies. He's making $12 million this year. He's making $12.5 million next year. His contract was not invalidated because of that boat situation or edibles. It's cool to take edibles as an NBA player. That's totally fine. You won't get your contract invalidated. And again, he's working out today for the Lakers. You just mentioned J.R. Smith. So is J.R. Smith, apparently. Those two guys, one of them is going to be brought in, and I think it's Dion Waiters. Because they released Troy Daniels, the Lakers did, who is way down on the depth chart for their team as a three-point shooter. But they want somebody who can handle a little bit more and get kind of hot. And I think the key with those two guys, and Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith, is that they wouldn't be bringing in an unknown commodity. LeBron has played with both of them. J.R. Smith obviously won a title with him in 2016. Dion Waiters played with him with the Cavs briefly. And so even though they wanted a ball handler, somebody could dribble a little bit more. I think one of those guys is going to come in, and I think it's Dion Waiters. They're not going to wait around for any longer. Like, Tyler Johnson is available. But I don't think they're bringing Alan Crabb's available. Anthony Toller's available. Jamal Crawford's available. But I think they're just going to say, let's just do that. Let's get it on here, Clippers. Clippers, you sign a Markieff Morris, we'll take a Marcus Morris. You sign a Reggie Jackson, we'll take a Dion Waiters, and let's fight. Let's battle. They're ready.
Pretty even.
Yeah, it is pretty even. And the chemistry is always a worry. It's always a worry with a great locker room, but I think that known commodity with LeBron is key to this whole deal.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see what sort of shape Dion Waiters is in, because he didn't seem like the sort of guy to me who was like a total workhorse who was keep himself ready. But maybe he is. Maybe he's going to give himself this shot, because you're going now to a situation where you could win a championship after barely having played this season.
But I would say about the Miami Heat situation, most people thought, oh, he's done with the Heat. He's not going to play another game for the Heat after he took those edibles and was suspended a billion times. But they still put him out on the floor, despite having a deep roster.
Right.
They've got so many guys. They didn't need to play him, but he went out and played. This is his second meeting now with the Lakers, so there's something going on. And that something going on is they didn't get anybody better. But they're going to take a shot on the younger version of J.R. Smith, I guess, because he's probably 5 years younger or even more, somewhere in that ballpark. So I don't think it's going to be JR, even though they've won together.
I think it's just JR is unknown because we just don't know what type of shape he's in, right?
Yeah.
That's the real question to me. I actually think JR would be given the edge over a guy like Dion Waiters, having proven before in the playoffs series
LeBron,
and to LeBron that he can step up in big moments. But it feels like he's been away from the game for a little chunk of time here. And you're right, he's 6 years older, I think, than Dion Waiters, if that comes into play. Maybe that's a good thing for him though too, being the vet. But we'll see. They should just have a shootout. It should be like Kendall Gill versus Lee Ellis. Just like
live stream it.
Yeah, let's go.
Get some eyeballs
Who hits
on
more
that,
shots?
No doubt about
Whoever hits more shots, you're on the Lakers.
Get Swaggy P in there as well, then.
Okay,
sure.
Yeah.
Let him.
Oh, yeah, you could make that a pay-per-view now. I'd pay $29.99 to watch that. Swaggy P, JR, and Dion Waiters in a shootout. You tell me we wouldn't put some money
100%. I think it should be a 3-point shootout followed by a dunk contest.
Okay.
I don't know if Dion Waiters, not much of a dunker, but the other two are.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. And also, a quick shout out to Troy Daniels. He got waived, but he did make his last shot with the Lakers. A deep three at the end of that blowout against the Memphis Grizzlies. What a way to go out. 1 for 1.
Yes, it is buyout market season here in the NBA. Tass listed a lot of guys there.
And somebody can pick up Troy Daniels if they want him to win a championship.
Who else? There was another one you didn't name. Jordan McRae, I guess, is now available.
He's going to the Suns, apparently.
And then along the lines of like a JR or a Tyler Johnson, Shumpert, right? Is Shumpert in the mix still?
He's out there somewhere. Yeah.
He's out there somewhere.
Just hanging.
Who wants a Shump? All right, a few more just, I guess, mini winners of the weekend, if you want to call them that. The Clippers, I think we got to give one too. 2 wins over Denver on Friday night, and then Philadelphia on Sunday. They somehow survived the Shake Milton experience, held on, got the 6-point win. Hey, the Clippers hate playing day games. We have learned that. They are not good at the earlier start, but they got the victory anyway, putting up a ton of points, 136 there on Sunday. And in addition to the Clips getting those wins and got a nice little win streak going here, 4 in a row with all their healthy guys back, Patrick Beverley and Paul George, everybody in the mix. Steve Ballmer is in advanced negotiations to purchase the Forum in Inglewood, California, because they've been caught up in the courts. Ballmer and the Clippers have, trying to build a spot, trying to build a complex in the Inglewood area, but Dolan, who owns MSG, of course, in New York, also owns the Forum. His company does. They're saying, no, you can't build here as well. That would be conflict of interest and all that. So they looks like they maybe have determined maybe the best way to do this is just to buy the Forum, and then either just keep it and rebuild another one because it wouldn't be a conflict then because you'd own both, or rip it down and build it there. Clippers, Ballmer has talked about this for years. He's like, we got to get out of the Staples Center because it's Lakers. And then it's maybe the Kings in the NHL, and then it's us.
So they got to blow up the Forum then, right?
Yeah,
Because that's a Lakers building.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
yeah,
still a
and I
Lakers building.
think that would probably be the plan. I mean, I would guess. He wants to build a state-of-the-art, like 18,000 seat basketball arena.
I don't think you could renovate the Forum to bring it up to that standard. I wouldn't.
No,
think.
I don't think so. Again, you would either keep it for.
Have you seen photos of it? No.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
You would keep it either for concerts, which is what it mainly does now, and then you would build also your Clippers arena, or you blow it up and.
You have a chance to blow up a piece of Lakers history.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what Lakers fans would prefer, or what would hurt more, to see Ballmer blow it up, or to have the Clippers play in it. I don't know.
Probably blow it up.
Oh,
you think so?
They're blowing the poop out of that building. Yeah, because they play in a building where they have to look up at the Lakers banners, and then they cover them with the giant murals of the Clippers players. I mean, this is a fantastic opportunity. It's also a fantastic opportunity for Steve Ballmer to recreate a viral video. His former viral video is him on stage yelling, "Developers, developers, developers."
He's a sweater.
Now there's a great opportunity to create a video where he's yelling, "Real estate developers, real estate developers, real estate developers." He's going to develop a cool arena there in Inglewood.
Sure. You tweeted yesterday about is he going to build an arena like he's Voldemort or something? Because this photo, the score you tweeted is just perfect.
He's using black magic to try and build something. But he has the Clippers have long been regarded like that third tenant in the Staples Center, and even Arnovitz's article on ESPN, pointing out that the Clippers receive a smaller share of proceeds from suites and club seats, and they have lesser say in the scheduling. They're just given the leftovers. It's okay, here's when your games are, and I'm sure they don't want any of these more of these day games anymore because they've proven they stink during that. So, this looks like it's eventually going to happen. These are advanced negotiations. Ballmer buying the Forum from Dolan, and then he can do whatever he wants with it. Blow it up or just put another building beside it.
It's interesting that the Lakers actually have a lower attendance this year than the Los Angeles Clippers.
Huh?
The Clippers are at 100% capacity. The Lakers are at 99.6. They have 100 less people going to their basketball games.
Wow.
But they probably make a bajillion dollars more than the Clippers.
I think so. A few other mini winners. Andrew Wiggins finally won a game.
Oh,
Let's give it up for Wiggins.
Get
there
that
you go, buddy.
congratulations music.
He had lost, okay? Wiggins had lost 20 consecutive games because he had lost 13 when he was with the Wolves before the trade to Golden State. And then he and his squad had dropped another 7 straight. So he was up to 20, but he got that victory over the weekend. He shot I think he shot like a cool 6 for 20 in helping his team beat the Suns. So he finally got a W.
It happened on Leap Day, though. Yeah. Did it really happen? We'll look back. February 29th, he did not win that game.
Ooh.
It didn't last long either, the celebration.
No. They lost again on Sunday, did they not? And I want to give a winner of the weekend to the Kings.
Yeah.
The Sacramento Kings are still alive. They're holding on to playoff hope. They've won 8 of their last 11, 2 wins over the weekend. They went into Memphis. De'Aaron Fox, as you said, they got that victory over the Grizzlies. That was big. That was a close one. I thought he played fantastic, Fox did. They followed it up on Sunday, rallying to beat the Pistons by 6. They were down. I looked at the score like early on Sunday there. At one point, it was like 23-4 Detroit or something insane. But they came back and they got the victory, and now they're tied. The Kings are with the Pelicans for the 9th spot in the West. They're 26-34. They're something like 3 games back from the Grizzlies, along with the Spurs. So there's 3 teams chasing Memphis. Kings are still there.
I think people are sort of looking at the Kings and they're benefiting a little bit from people like, they're out of it, and it's, another bad season in Sacramento, but they're just keeping themselves alive to eventually fall out anyway.
Oh, how dare you. Oh, but Harrison Barnes has to shave, man.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right, he's got to shave.
Yeah.
So there you go. The Kings are still in it, and it's nice to see Fox, back in there and again playing really, really well. Reminding everyone that, hey, I'm also a pretty good, young, talented guard. And maybe you can carry them in there. Beating Memphis is a hell of a game to get. That's a whole game you're gaining there by beating the team ahead of you. All right, let's get to losers of the NBA weekend. Who wants to get us started? Who's got a juicy one?
Well, I don't know if I should say it with a couple of Raptors fans around me, but it was a rough weekend for the Raptors. Now, loser implies that you're a loser, that you've done something stupid. The Raptors always seem to struggle to beat the Hornets in Toronto. I don't know if that is actually correct, but it just feels like it. Remember Jeremy Lamb hit that half-court bomb a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
And now on Friday night, the score was tied with a couple of seconds to go, and Rondé Hollis-Jefferson fouls Terry Rozier before the ball is even inbounded.
Yeah.
And Rozier hits a free throw, and then the Raptors go on to lose that game. Now
sounds like a loser to me.
Yeah, but it was like
prior to that, the Raps had 2 good looks.
The Raptors had good looks, but
Kyle got the offensive rebound, went to the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You're going to lose a couple of games from time to time, but that was a bit of a unfortunate one. Looking back at it, I thought Hollis-Jefferson fouls him, but it's a pretty harsh way to lose the game, I think, as well. I didn't think it was too egregious myself.
Right.
But anyway, that happens. And then they go to Denver, and this is always a tough place to play.
Yeah.
But they're short-handed, severely short-handed. No Gasol still, no Serge Ibaka, and no Fred VanVleet. But we have seen throughout this season so many times someone from the Raptors bench just steps up, like it's Chris Boucher or Terrence Davis, whoever it is. That just didn't really happen. This game became a blowout, but really wasn't a blowout until the last couple of minutes. The Raptors were
Raps put up a fight.
Yeah, they were within punching distance with about 4.5 minutes to go, and then the wheels just sort of fell off a little bit at the end there. And Denver also played a great game, I thought, in this one. I thought Jamal Murray was brilliant. Again, Jokic had another triple-double, and Jokic looked aggressive early on. The Nuggets were hitting threes. They couldn't miss in the first quarter.
They hit the first 9, didn't they?
The thing is, for the Raptors now, they've dropped 3 in a row. So this is just...
They're still somehow holding on to second spot.
Yeah, the Celtics losing, of course, on Saturday night helped their cause. But, the Raptors have been very resilient this season when faced with injuries. And I like Kyle Lowry after the game. Someone said, how tough is it to play? And he goes, you just got to play harder, man. No excuses. And I like that mentality because I think that holds them in good stead, I guess, come playoff time, knowing that there's no excuses for this team. Mm-hmm. They learnt last year playing without Kawhi Leonard. Doesn't matter. We still are a very, very good team. OG was great yesterday. Had 7 steals. He's very, very. He's a Kawhi light at times.
Yeah.
At times.
The ball hawking skills.
So I give the Raptors a loser just because they didn't win any games this weekend. But it's not. I'm not saying.
Nicely done.
I'm not saying
You're not writing their chances off of getting out of the first round or something like that. That's fair.
Siakam in the fourth quarter last night too was just he couldn't sort of get his usual. They were going through him, and he wasn't able to. He
had a horrible game.
Yeah, he certainly had a horrible fourth quarter, I thought.
That's the worrisome part, is Pascal Siakam struggling against good teams.
Yeah.
It's happened all season long. He hasn't been effective as a number one guy. It's kind of expected. Hey, this is his first foray into this role. But that's the worrisome part for this team going forward. Not that they lose to the Nuggets without a center. Really, they're starting Ronnie Hollis-Jefferson against Nikola Jokic. You're in bad shape.
Right.
That's not going to work out. Yeah, but they outworked the Nuggets. They kicked their butt in fast break points. They were trying to shove it down their throat, and they were. But in the half-court execution, the Nuggets were doing that. They won that game because they're more talented top to bottom with all those injuries, the bigs and Fred VanVleet. So, Pasky is the issue. Pascal Siakam.
I think good news on the injury front is Gasol was working up a sweat to bring it back to that, pregame. So I think he's pretty close to returning.
Yeah.
And they need to get him in here for this little, home stretch as you head into the playoffs. I know they're all comfortable with each other because he's been there for a while now, or over a year, but you got to get some reps in, and then Nurse got to get a little more comfortable, even though he'll change him on the fly and all that with the rotations and who's playing when you start to shorten it down a little bit. But yeah, I'm not, as a Raps fan, not panicking despite the losses, because they don't, they're missing three of their best players. That is very, very tough. It's similar to what was going on with the Clippers in a way when they were without some of their key guys in Beverly and George in and out of the lineup and other guys. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Well, don't worry, when their guys are there,
and the Bucks was one of those losses as well. So
that's right.
Yeah, so
okay,
they're at the Suns next, so there's a chance for them to at least get back in the W column there.
Well, we'll see. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. All right, who do you got, Trae? A loser of the weekend, excuse me.
Well, Trae Young has made it a habit and made it his signature dribbling play to nutmeg guys. He got R.J. Barrett this year, Ricky Rubio, Will Barton. He got James Harden in the All-Star game, but one man he didn't get was Trevor Ariza.
Oh, no.
Felt like a Simpsons episode. Old man yells at guard. Trae Young tries to go through his legs, and Trevor Ariza gives him the Robert Horry body check. Eerily reminiscent. Basically the same hit. Sends Trae Young flying in. To Trae's credit, it seemed like he's like, okay, he's pretty mad at me. I'll just chill out a little bit. Afterwards, though, Trevor Ariza had one of the most boomer quotes of all time. He said, he told Jason Quick of The Athletic, I told Trae Young, don't do that again. Not to me, at least. I mean, I'd never made an all-defensive team or none of that and he's an all-star, so he can get by me in creative ways. He can get around me. But all the, funnies? I'm not with the funnies. I don't like the funnies.
He doesn't like
What a quote.
He doesn't like the comic section of the paper.
How old is this guy? I looked it up. He's only 34, but this sounds like it would have been said in 1934.
Doesn't like the
It's
funnies.
I'm not with the funnies.
It's funny because after the game, immediately they went and sort of talked about it.
Oh, Ariza found him immediately.
Ariza, it was being played off like, what happens on the court stays on the court. But I felt Ariza grabbed him and yanked him in there as if to say, don't do that to me again.
Well, no. I think he yanked him in there and found him and seeked him out immediately after the game to say, hey, man,
I'm not with the funnies.
I'm not with the funnies. And,
Trae Young's 21. He's like, what?
In a way to apologize for a little extra
whack.
hit. But, also, we're not doing that to me. You can do that to your Will Bartons and your Ruby. You're not doing it. See, I was conflicted. I didn't know where. I'm glad you put him in a loser here, Ariza, maybe because of the quote more than anything. But I was like, is that a winner of the weekend? Also, in a way, I sort of like the idea of you're not doing that to me. I don't mind it. It's okay, you got clown, but I'm not letting you by. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just because he's old, though?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I guess, yeah. But then I also see it from the flip side. Come on, man. He's also not looking that great.
Yeah, exactly right.
So what do you think this does then for Trae going forward? Does he maybe stop doing it, or does he go back to keep doing it, you think? Or he picks his targets, he's going to go for a younger guy, not a vet.
He checks their ID before he does it.
Excuse me, are you with the funnies? I'm with the funnies. Bad choice, my friend.
Yeah.
See, Dwight, I think Dwight would be okay with it.
Oh, he's with them.
Yeah.
But
he's a vet, that's what I'm saying.
No, I know. I don't think it actually. It's more the the personality of the
Right,
player, less
right.
the age, I think,
Right.
of the particular player. Like, there are going to be some guys that are going to be offended by that
Yeah.
and just don't want to be embarrassed like that. So
Hold on, who likes getting the ball put through
well,
their legs?
no, not likes, I guess.
They can take it though.
They can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, is the better way to put it. Where some, obviously, Trevor Ariza cannot. He literally is like, I'm about to get clowned here, and I'm going to be on House of Highlights.
He was on anyway.
He was on anyway,
the
but he's
tough
also
part.
like, no, we're doing this in my way, so I'm just going to body check you into the front row. And you're right. I thought Trae Young handled
He's
it
like, I get
perfectly.
it. He's like, if you don't want me dribbling through your legs, I won't. Just yell at me. It's fine. Knock me over. I'm all right. I'll get somebody else the next game. Somebody
Yeah.
with a sense of humor.
Okay, that's a great one. That's a fun loser of the weekend. Tass, who you got?
Well, LeBron James a loser. Huh?
What?
I thought he was great this weekend. He was. But there were a couple internet-worthy moments in a negative way, just like getting the ball put through your legs. LeBron, nasty, nasty flop. When Dylan Brooks hit him on Saturday, he flopped like a madman. Basically, LeBron's crown got touched. Where there's his hairline starts at the 3-point line, and he flailed backwards like he was hammered. And unfortunately for him, this clip is going around in super slow-mo, so it looks like there's like a 2 to 3 second delay. There's like a beat. Whoa, he flailed. It was quick, but it looks terrible. Also on Sunday, late in the game, I think it was about 1:30 left, LeBron, one of the smartest players in the history of basketball, goes to inbound it and just starts walking in like he's playing a pickup game. He didn't inbound it at all. And so the old crossing the baseline whistle, don't see that too often.
The weirdest
and-
whoopsie of all.
And the best player of all time to ever do it.
Yeah, I
No one
loved Doris Burke on the call for that one. She was going crazy. He's like, wow, what's going on here? LeBron
Yeah.
with the brain fart. Yeah, the weekend whoopsie, the ultimate whoopsie. Yeah, that was weird, but happens to the best of them.
Yep.
LeBron, a tough loser of the weekend.
He was pretty good. Hey,
despite
he's
putting up Vaughn's
MVP.
lines.
He's MVP. How can he be a loser? He didn't even. Well, he lost on Saturday. I mean, there was a pretty big difference between losing LeBron on Saturday and winning LeBron on Sunday. Like, he just showed up
man,
from
yeah.
tip
Yeah.
on Sunday, and he was chilling out on Saturday. Was it the fact that it was a nationally televised game? Perhaps.
Versus Zion again.
Zion.
And Zion. Yeah, there was
That
a big
fires him up.
But they're 8-0 on the second night of back-to-backs.
That's good.
Pretty sweet. Pretty
Yep.
sweet for the Lakers. They bounce back no matter what happens.
Few mini losers of the weekend here. Let's get them in. Scottie Pippen. He admitted on Friday that the dunk contest judges messed up the final round scores. This is Pip. Quote, "We punched the scores in and they came up wrong. We thought we were going to give them both a tie." Now, this is Pip was on the 5-judge panel with Common, Wade, Candace Parker, Chadwick Boseman, and Pippen. So he says, like, and this is now the second time we've heard this sort of account from what happened, is that the judges were planning on tying. You know, Gordon jumps over Taco Fall. They'll give him a 48. That'll tie him with Derek Jones Jr. We'll probably get like sort of one more round here, or there'll be some way to decide. But Pippen wouldn't call out who specifically it was. I sure still think he's leaning towards Dwayne Wade, but he wouldn't name him. But Pippen said the judges entered their scores, and then they sort of noticed the mistake. But they were locked out of the system. Like, once your score's in, I don't think you can go start changing it. You couldn't
no
alter your
take-back
numbers.
system.
Yeah. And then, Gordon was a 47. Derek Jones Jr., you win the dunk contest.
That's why you're saying the judges should just have the.
Oh no, there'd be so much like
Yeah, what do you
putting
got,
them
mate?
up and
Yeah,
down, looking.
yeah.
Oh no. Okay, so Pippen going in on that. Steph Curry, what happened to that? Loser of the weekend of the Warriors for lying to us.
Liars.
Steph Curry was reportedly set to return on Sunday, coming back from the hand injury, but the Warriors, I guess, wanted to give him more practice time. Kerr told reporters that Curry hadn't done enough scrimmaging. So in a statement released by the team, Curry is set to practice with the Warriors G League affiliate, the Santa Cruz Warriors, today. And his date to return is still undetermined. A lot of people think a little later this week, maybe a Thursday matchup, that we could see Curry. But that was a bit of a bummer. I was all excited for Sunday, and
Exactly.
then he wasn't there.
You want to get a scrimmage in, play the Wizards. It's that easy.
That's a good point. And then final one, loser of the weekend to the Woe Boy Committee of One. That is myself. It was sort of next to impossible to try to figure out who should win Sunday's Woe Boy. And here's why. Listen to these lines from Sunday. And the pressure that I had on myself.
My ears
to
are
just
perking up
pick
right now.
one of these gentlemen to give the honor to. Giannis, 41, 20, and 6 in less than 35 minutes on Sunday. Porzingis, 38, 13, and 4, 6 3-pointers made, and 5 blocks. OG Anunoby, you said it, career high 32 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, and 7 steals. That's very, very rare. Jokic, 23, 18, and 11 versus the Raps. LeBron, oh yeah, that guy, 34, 13, and 12 versus the Pelicans. And then Shake Milton going for 39 on 14 of 20 shooting with 7 threes. Whew. I mean,
Yeah.
I
How do you do
ultimately
it?
went with Porzingis because that's super rare pairing that many 3-pointers with that many blocks. And then that many points. I mean, I'm not even sure if anyone in history has even done that line. 38 points with 6 3-pointers made, 5 blocks. That is.
He's the only one who's ever done it, I thought.
Is it? Is that true? Yeah. Okay.
I do
So I
believe
ultimately went with him, but I mean, you can make a case for all those. Crazy lines, man.
It's crazy. Has the Daily Ding handed out their line of the night? They usually do one. Has anybody listened to the Ding? I mean, they have handed it out, I assume.
I did. I dig
Nobody
it up
got
in the
dumb.
shower, and I didn't have that long a shower this morning, so I'm not sure I got to the end because they do it at the end. You're right. I think I don't know why maybe I heard it right. Maybe I had it kept playing, but I think Shake Milton got it from somebody. I don't know. Big was.
I think you're right.
Or somebody gave it to him.
So Shake
Great
Milton's
lines.
nickname originally was Milkshake Jr. because his dad was Milkshake, so now they just call him Shake. Milkshake Jr. is a pretty cool nickname,
Wow,
too.
that is.
Milkshake Milton.
Yeah, Kevin Harlan tried to pull it out on a broadcast a few weeks ago when ESPN was doing a Sixers game. Especially because he's a small guy. He can shake people.
Yeah, this is
Works.
I mean, he went for 39 on Sunday, but he's had like 3 really good games in a
Yes,
row.
yeah.
He'd be cool. I mean, it'd be nice to see Shake with Blake Griffin.
Shake and Blake.
Shake and Blake.
Wow, that's great.
That would work well. There's something there.
Match them up, yeah.
You never know. Hopefully.
Pistons might need a point guard.
Yeah, right. It might be Shake for all we know. Okay, so those are our winners and losers of the NBA weekend. Who did we miss? I know you'll let us know on Twitter, #NoDunks, @NoDunksInc, or let us know in the YouTube comments as well. JD, tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
So during our episode of Squad over the weekend, we touched on the subject of the Detroit Red Wings fans throwing octopuses, which is it?
Yeah.
Probably both, onto the ice, which sparked a little bit of a weird exchange on Twitter. So the tweet of the night is actually at a Twitter exchange. So it's all started off with @SpaceFunMars tweeting, just found out from No Dunks Inc. about this hockey thing where they throw octopuses on the ice. That's pretty messed up. People do know that the octopus is one of the smartest animals on Earth, right? Stop doing that. Then he tweeted a video of an octopus escaping from a jar, which, to be honest, was pretty cool. Okay. Except weirdly, at the end of the video, the octopus stays in the jar. Like, it screws off the lid, and then it simply just stays in the jar. So,
weird.
Likes it, yeah.
yeah. Or how smart is it? Well, who knows? But then, @nonexistent replied with a picture of what looked to be a delicious grilled octopus with the caption, "Yeah, and they taste delicious too. What a waste." To which Aaron Cooper added, if they were smart, they'd figured out a way not to get caught and used for sport. And then Space Fun Mars jumped in again and said they need to stop voting Republican then. Which is,
Wait, what?
okay. Then Mighty Rubber tweeted, they're also one of the biggest asshole animals on Earth, and I eat them happily because of this. And finally, Space Fun Mars replied to that with, people are worse, and we unfortunately don't eat them. Just a wild exchange
Wow, that
on
is
Twitter.
There's so much going on there.
So I guess to sum up, octopi, fascinating and delicious.
Yes.
And-
I
and
mean, it's
people
almost throwing it. Forget about being upset because you're throwing them onto the ice because, come on, that's an intelligent animal. What are you doing? Like, if anything, what are you doing? You're wasting good octopus that we could eat.
That's
Because I can't imagine you can. I don't know. You're gonna throw that out in the rink and then somebody's gonna grill that up.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
it's on
maybe-
ice. It's fine.
Maybe it is.
Technically, I think you could, because I think I kind of fell into a bit of a rabbit hole. The preparation, part of the preparation of bringing the octopus into the arena is to boil it first, so that it's not so slimy.
Oh, wow.
So it's already sort of blanched for you.
Okay.
And then they throw it onto ice.
Yeah. Throw a little salt and
And
pepper
then
on there.
if I'm the Zamboni driver, I'm just collecting those up and throwing them right on the grill.
Wow.
Right out back, right?
Maybe, yeah.
I'd say quite often an octopus is a little tough if you're
Yeah.
having it. I think just a couple bruises, a couple lumps that it takes getting thrown onto the ice, not a bad thing at all.
A little
Tenderize,
massage, yeah.
Yeah,
Not at all.
absolutely.
You fell down instead of saying you fell down a rabbit hole now, we're saying you fell down an octopus jar.
Very cool.
And I unscrewed the
Deep
lid
in the
and,
octopus jar here.
and I
All right.
stayed right in there.
All right. Wow. One of the weirder tweets of the
is
night,
weird.
but that is a great exchange.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Speaking of jars, did you see that Kraft peanut butter? See what they did?
Yeah.
I did see this.
Less than a week after we talked about, we had the debate about smooth peanut butter or crunchy peanut butter, and then I threw out the idea, like, why don't we just have a jar where, like, you have both of them, and you can, like, pick and choose and make it however smooth or crunchy you want. Kraft peanut butter comes out and drops that jar.
Were they just waiting for a podcast
know.
to sort of chat about it and then like,
was
we're good to go, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Release.
Somebody said it on the podcast. We got to get it out there. That was amazing. And Kraft peanut butter, by the way, is that's a Canadian company. So I don't think they have that down here in the
Yeah, I was
States.
gonna say I didn't know
They don't?
Kraft peanut butter.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I saw a lot of people confused by that. Like, what is that, a Canadian thing?
That
yeah.
sucks. I was getting excited to get that jar. I'll have
get the
to
jar?
Get my brother to fly me down the jar. Pretty ingenious the way they did it. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, so you're right. I mean, in my, what would you call it, plans for this jar, I had it more like it was split down the middle.
Yes.
One lid that an octopus could take off, and that you would have it split on each side. Yeah, you're right. Kraft coming with double ends.
Double turnies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a
You think the middle?
Wild.
The middle, does it have a separator, or is that just like the sweet spot where the creamy and the crunchy meat?
I hope it's that.
Wow.
I hope it's that too. I hadn't even thought of that. Right. So
I guess we'll never know unless JD's brother flies
Oh, yeah.
down
I'll get him
a single
a,
jar.
He'll bring a case. He'll bring a case for me.
Oh, man. All right, so great tweets going around this weekend, all around. Okay, pick 'em, not results. Just a straight-up pick 'em tonight because we didn't do one on Friday because I had already lost February. I will be paying it off. I mean, I don't know what we're doing yet. I think we're leaning in towards
Eat an octopus.
licorice whip.
Ooh.
You want me
Get out of a jar.
to get out of a jar? Well, you already put me in a box once for a pick-up. Yeah.
Last call for submissions, I would say.
Okay,
We
last
gotta
call
get
for
it
submissions, and if we're doing licorice whip, we got to get those foot-long Twizzlers, and maybe just wait until the end of the week when it's supposed to get a little nicer out here. It's supposed to rain for the next couple days. I can't be getting whipped in the rain. No way.
true.
But anyway, yeah, get your suggestions in if you still got a good one. But we're starting it all over, boys. We are into March. What is our game tonight? We're all at 0-0.
Big one in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks at the Heat. Heat getting 3.5 points at home, so they can lose by 3 or less. If you're picking them, it's on NBA TV. They're a great home team. They're 25-4 at home, but Giannis is balling 40-20 on Sunday. It's a back-to-back for Milwaukee, but that was a very, very early Sunday afternoon game.
Quite true.
That's like 32 hours in between games. Middleton, I think he's probable to play. He
You
was
think
sort
so?
of a late scratch on Sunday. And
What did he have? Like a sore neck or something, I think.
Chris Middleton
Yeah,
has a neck. That's right.
He's got a neck.
Chris Middleton, bracket,
Has
neck.
a-
Trae's the neck guy around here, so I thought he would be up to speed on it.
I'm turtled up today, boy.
Yeah.
Bucks at Heat plus 3.5. What do you got?
Bucks.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is a back-to-back for the Bucks, so you're thinking maybe this is one they lose. But they just smashed the Raptors in the same scenario a week ago. Miami.
Wow.
Miami.
Okay, Miami to cover. Give me Milwaukee by 3.5. If anything, I just think like the Bucks have had two. They're coming off that Charlotte game where they didn't shoot the ball well. I don't see that happening 2 games in a row, especially if Middleton's back in the mix. So, yeah, I think Milwaukee covers.
Yeah, they've 2 games in a row. They're struggling, or their starters have struggled.
Right.
So, even though they've won 6 in a row, they've been playing well. The Heat are 4-6 over the last 10. But I'm taking Milwaukee. The Heat beat Milwaukee in the second game of the season.
Ooh.
That's something Giannis has in the back of his brain.
He doesn't forget. All right, Trae, the only one taking Miami and the points. Everybody else has Milwaukee to win by 4 or more. Good luck to everybody. Make sure you guys check out the other great podcasts on the Athletic Network. Count the Dings, Back to Back, Hoops Adjacent. There's over a dozen team-specific shows featuring a number of your favorite athletic reporters. I'm actually going on one of them a little later today, the Raptors podcast, Raptors Reasonable List, with Eric Green and Blake Murphy.
You're one of the most unreasonable guys I know about the Raptors. This should be interesting.
Might make for a good podcast then, so keep your eye on that one. If you're not a member of The Athletic yet, what are you doing? Get 40% off your subscription today. Go to theathletic.com/no-dunks. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, JD just reminded me, Octopodi is a fantastic animated short. It's so cute. You should watch it.
Embrace the day, people.